Hi, my name is Kennedy Johnson and I'm a proud Metro Tech alumni and currently a cook here at the Metro Tech Cafe. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make an apple pie for our Metro Tech employees' annual pie sale. So for our ingredients today, we're going to be using Granny Smith apples to start. I'm going to be using frozen, but you can also use fresh and just have them peeled and cored. We're also going to be using some brown sugar, some cinnamon, some ground cloves, ground nutmeg. I have some vanilla bean paste, but you can also use vanilla extract. I have a little bit of lemon juice here, some white sugar, some unsalted butter, a little bit of salt, some all-purpose flour, and then I have 2 beaten eggs to use as egg wash to top the pie off. I like to start off with browning my butter. I feel like brown butter gives a more nutty flavor and it adds to the overall pie itself. So I'm gonna start with about a medium to medium-low heat. And I have about 4 tablespoons of butter here. And I'm just gonna dump all of that into my pan and let it bubble up and start to brown. So I have my brown sugar here and I like to sprinkle that over my apples. This is about half of a cup, but I like to measure with my heart. So if you wanna add a little bit more, a little bit less, it's up to you. Then I go in with a little bit of white sugar. I go in with some cinnamon, a little bit of ground cloves, a pinch of nutmeg, not too much, it can be a little overpowering. And then I like to use vanilla bean paste because I feel like it's more concentrated, but feel free to use vanilla extract or whatever you have at home. Then I go in with a splash of lemon juice, about a teaspoon or so. And then I have a little bit of flour here. This is gonna help thicken up our syrup to create that nice, juicy apple pie. And then once I have all of my ingredients in my bowl, I just like to give this a quick mix around to get all of the apple slices nice and coated. So now that my butter is sizzling and it's all melted, this is whenever I lower the heat just a little bit more because we don't want our butter to burn, we just want it to brown. So our apples should look something like this. You just want them to be nicely coated in your sugars, flour, and your seasonings. So now that our butter is brown, I'm gonna go ahead and add my apples into my pan. And we just wanna cook the apples down until we get a nice, thick, dark syrup consistency. So I enrolled into the Metro Tech Culinary Arts program in the fall of last year, and I graduated May of this year. I actually wanted to enroll because my mom went to culinary arts school here. She actually works in finance, so we work together. But she always had a lot of great things to say about the program and how it taught her so much, and I wanted to experience that for myself. I knew that I didn't want to go to college directly out of high school, so I wanted an alternative option. And I know that Votechs, they are very hands-on, and I'm a hands-on learner, so that's why I chose Metro Tech as my program of choice. Okay, so once I have everything nice and incorporated in my pan, I like to bring the apples up to a simmer and let the liquid reduce a little bit. You wanna be able to draw a line in the middle of your pot. Our syrup has thickened up quite nice. It's more flavorful and more concentrated when it reduces, so we're ready to go into our pie shell. I'm gonna cut my heat off, and here I have a store-bought pie shell. It gets very busy around the holidays, so any way you can kind of cut corners, it's fine. I went ahead and pre-baked this for about 8 to 10 minutes in a 350-degree oven. So I'm gonna go in with my apples and just pour those into my pie shell. It smells really good in here. Anything with cinnamon and nutmeg is always gonna make the house smell great. Okay, so I kind of evenly distribute my apples all over my pie shell. I try not to have them spilling out over the edges, so I'll just push those few little slices towards the middle. And here I have some pre-cut strips of pie dough. This is also store-bought, you know, quick and easy. What I'm gonna do is make a lattice on top of my pie. So I'm just gonna lay the strips across the top of my dough in one direction, just like this. And I try and evenly space the dough across the pie. This just makes life a little bit easier whenever we go to weave the dough. I lift up every other sheet of dough, and that's when I lay down my pie dough strips going in the opposite direction. And then I flip those back over top, and I do the same thing I pick up every other sheet of dough and I lay down a new strip. So now that we have our pie dough weaved into our lattice, we're gonna go ahead and cut off the excess around the edges. I have some egg wash here, and I just like to lift up the little flaps that are hanging over the edge. And I brush that with a little bit of egg wash just to ensure that it sticks to my already pre-baked crust. And I just do that all around. So now that I have my egg wash around the perimeter of my crust, I'm gonna go ahead and press my dough all along the sides just to get it kind of stuck on there. And then I go around the edges with my cookie cutter and just cut off all of that excess dough. And my final step is the egg wash over all of my lattice. This is just gonna help give that golden brown color whenever we bake it in the oven. Really coat all of the pieces of dough in egg wash. It's gonna give that beautiful finish. So this is what our pie should look like after we egg wash it. We're gonna bake this in the oven at 350 degrees for around 30 to 45 minutes. This is how your pie should look once it's come out of the oven. It's nice and golden brown and it looks beautiful. I like to personally serve my pie with some nice vanilla bean whipped cream. I'll show you how to make this in a different video, but for now, I'm just gonna top my pie with a nice, beautiful swirl. And then just for a little bit of color, I like to top the pie with a sprig of mint. My final touch, I like to dust the top of the pie with a little bit of cinnamon. And there we have our apple pie. To me, Thanksgiving means being able to join together with my friends and family during the holidays. I really value family, and being able to be around them, that's probably one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for. And that's all for me today. I hope you guys all have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm glad you guys stayed and enjoyed watching me make an apple pie. See you next time.